Hey everybody, welcome back to Nicaragua and more. You know, Anna and I love you all. Thank you so much for supporting our channel, for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all that YouTube stuff. Thank you guys so much for that. It really means the world to us. You'll never know how much you mean to us here at Nicaragua and more. If you're new, hope you'll take a minute and subscribe to the channel. That would mean everything to us, guys. Today, top 5 reasons people want to leave Central America for the United States. Top 5 reasons people want to leave Central America for the United States. You know what? I get asked often, as a resident of Central America, I get asked often, why do people want to leave their country? What drives people to want to leave? Why would people just pick up, sometimes with almost nothing, leave their children, leave their wife, or vice versa, leave their husband, mothers leave their children? It happens. Sometimes they all go together. But why do they pick up with almost nothing, trek for days up through Central America, through the desert, barren wasteland of Mexico, although Mexico's a beautiful place? But these people aren't there to enjoy the scenery. They're there to get through it and move on to the U.S. border. What drives them to do such a thing? You know, I get asked this all the time. I've lived down here since 2005. So I think I have a reasonably solid voice here. I understand Central Americans probably more than the average person, than the average gringo would. You come down here for a week, you visit Costa Rica, you see the beaches, you see the life, and you're like, wow, this is paradise. Well, for a gringo, it is paradise. You know, you retire with $500,000 in the bank, you retire with a couple million in the bank, you retire with $100,000 in the bank. Whatever it is, you come down here and it's paradise. But what you don't realize is the real living situation here, the real life here. What is the real life? You know, it's tough here, guys. It's not, you know, I think it's underestimated how high the poverty level is here in Central America. You know, here in Nicaragua, we're at, I think we're the poorest country, the second poorest country, I believe, in the Western Hemisphere. We used to be. Could be Venezuela, could be Cuba. I'm not sure on that, guys. That is a statistic that I did not look up, but we are number 1, 2, or 3. We're right there. Costa Rica is probably the wealthiest country in Central America. I've lived in Costa Rica, I've lived in El Salvador, and I live in Nicaragua now. And I love Nicaragua. It's a great country with wonderful people, beautiful people, lovely people. I absolutely love it here. But there's a reason people want to leave. There really is. And I'm not sure people get it. They think, well, you know, why would people want to possibly leave? Everything's cheap in Central America. Well, that's a misnomer, guys. That is simply no longer true. This is not your father's Mexico. You know, it's just really not. When I talk about Central America, I like to include Mexico, because I feel like Mexico is a part of Central America in a lot of ways, especially from about Mexico City on down, south of Mexico City and on down. Feels like Central America to me. So I include it with the cost of living, the statistics, and all of that stuff. So, what are the top 5 reasons? Let's get right to them. Starting with number 5, cost of living inflation. It's a theme around here that you will hear me mention more than once. Are things in the U.S. high right now? Well, sure they are. But you might want to rethink your inflation argument before you rush to judgment. There are worse places to live. The average minimum wage in Nicaragua is $212 per month. $212 per month, y'all. Not $212 per day. Not $212 per week, but $212 per month. Now divide that by 22. That's the average working days in a month. The average amount of working days in a month is 22. That's what a car dealership will give you credit on. 22 working days per month. That comes out to $9 per day or $45 per week. Do you see the problem? No matter how you slice it, life is not easy in Central America. The economy is, well, it's in the dumper. It's not in the dumper. Really, it's not. It's stuck in the 1940s, considering salaries, but in 2024, considering inflation. The cost of living here is just like it is in the United States, with maybe one exception, and that would be housing. Housing is less money here. If you're willing to live for less here, which people are forced to live, gringos come here and could live for less. Yes, they can live. You could come here and live on a little bit of nothing and possibly be happy. Depends on what your standard of living is. But housing is cheaper. That is the one thing I will give you on that. Number 4, a fair wage for a day's work. You are not going to get it here. I promise you. The average wage in Central America, Mexico included in this, is $555 US a month. That's the average wage. We talked about Nicaragua, the minimum wage being $212 per month. For perspective, the average monthly salary for a general practitioner, a doctor in Nicaragua, the average monthly salary, guys, for a doctor, for a medical doctor, a physician, is $544, while that of Honduras is $1,300, roughly $1,300, Panama roughly $1,000. Additionally, although 50% of Nicaraguan doctors are specialized in training, this specialization level fails to meet widespread community needs for primary care. On top of it all, guys, Nicaragua is not even getting the health care they need to be getting. I mean, and how could you expect this country to be getting what they need to get? How can you expect that when doctors make $544 on average per month? It's obscene, it's ridiculous, it's absurd. A lawyer, a great lawyer, might make $800 a month or less. You know, I mean, it just, the salaries here, that's perspective. You say, you know, I've heard people tell me, oh yeah, but, you know, if you get it, you know, it's cheap to go to attend college in Nicaragua, it's cheap to attend college in Central America, it's inexpensive. The tuition is inexpensive. Well, that may be true. In some places it isn't terribly expensive. But what's your incentive? Well, honestly, what's the incentive here? Really, I mean, you got to pound it out for 9 years getting a medical degree to earn $544 a year? I'm sorry, $544 a month? Come on, y'all. All right, the number 3, that was the number 4 reason why people want to go to the U.S. A fair wage for a day's work. The number 3 reason people want to leave Central America and go to the U.S. is to help their families in their home country. They want employment that will allow them to send something back on any kind of level. If they can send $100 back a month, it'd be something, really, guys. I mean, you don't know how much how helpful $100 is here when you're making $200 a month. That's half a salary. In Central America, family means everything, and Central Americans are willing to leave what they know and travel to a foreign country if it means gainful employment and any shot at any kind of a sustainable life. Just how it is, y'all. The number 2 reason Costa Ricans, Nicaraguans, Guatemalans, Panamanians, Hondurans, Central Americans, the number 2 reason they want to leave their country and go to the United States is that the United States has the best health care in the world. Folks, here in Central America, People are desperate. It is desperate. It's difficult to find great doctors that are affordable. Remember the $544 a month thing? There you go. It's practically impossible to pay for any kind of surgery here. Everyone knows the system in the United States is not perfect and that healthcare is expensive, but everyone knows it's the best in the world, and Central Americans want employment that will provide them and their families some kind of health insurance, even if they have to pay for a big chunk of it out of their own paychecks. They're willing to do that. They're willing to go to work for Walmart or some other place, any place. A farmer in his field in California or New Mexico or Arizona. They're willing to go to work for anybody for $7, $8, $9, $10 an hour and have $3, $4 of it an hour taken out for health care. They really are. If it means helping their family get health care that they need, they're willing to do it. That's one of the reasons they want to leave here. It's hard to get good health care here. The number one reason that Central Americans want to leave their own country and travel to the United States at any cost is for one reason: the American dream. Flat out. People want a better life and better employment opportunities. People want a house, a car. They simply want the ability to afford groceries. Unbelievably, for most Central Americans, the American dream means affording groceries. That's right, guys, the American dream. If you can afford your groceries, you're doing good. But that's not your American dream. That's not my American dream. That's not how I grew up as a United States, as someone from the United States. I am from the U.S., guys. I grew up in the U.S. just like many of you did. Yes, they want a car. They want a house. They want clothing. But most of all, they want to feed their families. That's what's important to Central Americans. And in Central America, it's extremely difficult to accomplish this. For Americans from the United States, the American dream is all of the above. But for Central Americans, the American dream is the ability to eat without worry. Bottom line it, y'all, that's what it is. The number one reason that people want to leave Central America and go to the United States. It's to eat. They want to eat, and they want their babies to not go hungry. Period, y'all. Period. There you have it, folks. You know we love you guys. Anna and I thank the world of you. We love you so very much. Thank you for supporting Nicaragua and more. Honestly, guys, without you, we wouldn't be here. We love, love, love you. You know what you got to do now? You got to go out and love somebody. Forgive somebody. Be good human beings. That's what we're called to do. Love each other. It'll make the world a better place. It'll make 2024 your best year ever. Go out and achieve it, y'all. We love you. Take care now. See you next time. Bye-bye now.